Hello everyone, this is Satish Kumar. I am here with my uh, fifth lesson on leadership. So we are seeing leadership theories. In my previous lesson, we learnt about the trait theories. In this lesson, we are going to learn about the behavioral theories of leadership. Okay, the behavioral theories. Say, when the trait theories was not able to come up with clear characteristics of trait which makes a leader, no, there was some confusion going, no, in the 1960s, 40s and 60s. Even before that, there have been attempt to identify uh, whether there was something unique in the way effective leaders behave. So some people studied the behavior of leaders. Okay, and the behavioral theories, no, they focus on how a person's environment forms him or her into leader. Okay, rather than focusing on the natural abilities of a leader, they focused on the environment. Okay, they they implicitly meant that leaders could be trained. Okay, leadership could be learned. The environment conditions develop a leader. Okay, so they were meaning leadership could be trained, people could be trained. So this is different from the great man theory and trait theories. One of the earliest behavioral theories was given by the famous psychologist Kurt Lewin. Okay, Kurt Lewin, Kurtlewan, Kurt Lewin. In fact, he is my favorite psychologist. His contributions towards social psychology, organizational behavior, organizational development, and group dynamics, and change management, and all these things, no, his contributions is simply amazing. And if you ever get a chance to read about him, read about Kurt Lewin. Okay, his contributions. He's a very great thinker, and his ideas are so powerful. Even today, some of these his ideas are used in organizations. Okay, management thinkers use his principles, psychological, social psychological principles. Okay, so he also touched leadership. Okay, he developed what is known as leadership continuum. Okay, a three style model of leadership continuum is nothing but different types of behavior. One behavior may be here and the other behavior may be straight opposite to that. In between there may be different types of behavior. So that is what leadership continuum is. Okay, one person is here, one characteristics, there may be other characteristics, other characteristics. By this way of changing, towards the end there will be a totally different characteristics. Okay, so he came up with three style. Okay, at one end there is this autocratic style, and the other end there is this delegative style. In between there is a third style called participative style. Okay, we will learn about the all these three styles. Okay, so according to Lewin, no, uh, there are three types of leadership style. Okay, three ways a leader could behave. Okay, one is the first is the authoritarian leadership at this end. Okay, sometimes it is called as autocratic style. Okay, of course, I hope you all know what is autocratic style. Autocratic leaders are people who give orders, they set the goals themselves without consulting their subordinates, they fix the deadline, they also give instructions, all the instructions about the job to be done. They won't consult anything with the subordinates, and they want the order to be strictly followed. Okay, and if it is not followed, they will coerce the subordinates to follow. Okay, See, these kind of leaders, autocratic leaders, no, bossing leaders, they boss people. Okay, uh, there are plenty of examples. I'm not going to give autocratic leaders examples. I know who, when you see a person who is not concerned for people and who is focused on goal and using people as a means to achieve that goal, no, that person is an autocratic person. So this kind of style, no, is suitable for certain occasions, okay, but it is a short term productivity could increase. Eventually, the people who work under autocratic leader will get tired of him and they will look for other things, okay. mm. And the followers of these people know will not like this kind of leaders, okay. Nobody, no human being like to be bossed around, but of course for some reason they may work for short term, okay. That is that. The second type is participative leadership or democratic leadership, okay. It is in the middle, okay. Here the leader sets his goals, set the goal of an organization, but before setting the goal, he consults with the subordinates or employees, okay. If a manager, if is setting a goal, and before setting a goal is getting suggestions from the workers, uh, um, and discuss with them, okay. uh, Although he may make the decision, he will make the final decision, but still he will get an opinion about from the employee, and this gives a lot of weightage to the employee. Employees, once they are participated in some decision, no, even the decision is made by the management, since they have consulted, no, they will actually involve in this decision and work willingly. Their morale will be high to do the job, okay, in contrast to the autocratic style. See, if somebody is coming to me and say, I am saying this, you have to do this, okay, I won't accept it. If the same person comes to me and asks, um, what is your idea and how are you going to do this thing, and I may suggest something, and he may say that he will discuss with me, and we both will come discuss, and finally he will say, let us do this way. I will also accept that because he consulted me and we did some research, okay. So in a participative style, what happens is there is always a chance for acceptance. In fact, always there is acceptance, okay. The third style is to the other extreme. At one side you see the people who is bossing. The third style is in the extreme other side. That is why it is called continuum, leader continuum, okay. Here it is called as laissez-faire leader or delegative leader. Laissez-faire leader or delegative leadership style is nothing but the leader doesn't care about anything. He let all the decision to be taken by the subordinates. He don't even control them. He don't even give them instruction. The leader doesn't take any laissez-faire is the word that is coined from the French. Laissez-faire means leave us alone, okay. Leave us alone. It means workers are left alone by the leader, okay. Leader hands the responsibility. He doesn't have any authority or responsibility, okay. He doesn't take he doesn't have authority. Even though he is having authority, he doesn't wield the authority, or he doesn't take any responsibility. He gives the responsibility to them, okay. And this kind of leadership, no, is actually trusting the employees wholly, okay. When this kind of leadership could work, okay. See, if all the persons working in the organizations are self-motivated, are highly educated, and understand the goals, and they are willing to work without any control or or any authority, in such a type, this kind of leadership is fine. See, but generally, if there is no, whatever may be the groups, the people in the group intellectual level or their self motivation and commitment towards the organization, there is always a leader is required, at least for the coordination and cooperation purpose and other thing. Okay, without a leader, an organization may not function well. So this kind of leadership is not the best method. Okay, these three are given by Kurt Lewin. Okay, and a person called Robert McMurray actually added a fourth style to this leader continuum theory. He added between the autocratic leader and the participative leader, in between another style called benevolent autocratic. Okay, here is the autocratic, here is the participative or democratic type leader. In between, there is a benevolent autocratic. Benevolent autocratic is the leadership style which is showing some concern for the employee. Okay, he is not like an autocratic. He orders the people to do the job, but he takes control over people because he is caring for the people. He wants the people to succeed. He thinks that if he takes the decision, it will be better. Okay, see, generally the word benevolence is associated with parents. See, parents, when the children are at a younger age, childhood and early teen years, no, children are not capable of taking the right decisions. In those times, they have to be controlled more and taken care by the parents. So parents are, in those times, if you see, no, they will have strict rules and regulations for the kids. Okay, so you may say that parents are bossing children, but they are bossing the children for the love they have for the children. That is what benevolence. Okay, so a benevolence autocratic is a person who is bossing people and he is asking people to do things as per his wish, is because he is caring about the people. He thinks that he knows what is right for the people, and people are not capable of meeting their desires. So okay, so this is the fourth style, that is between autocratic leader and participative leader. Why this leadership style? See, generally in a participative leadership style, things get complicated. It is not easy to arrive at solutions. Okay, if a management want every decisions to be taken with the approval of their employee, no, it will be very difficult. So this benevolent autocratic is just a improved version of autocratic style, but at the same time having a focus on people. Okay, so this style. Okay, so again, these are all the four styles in the different leadership behavior. Okay, and see, based on the strength and weaknesses of these four styles, we could select any one style which is best suited for the organization. Generally, the participative style, that is democratic style, no, is most effective method. Okay, then we will see the second leadership study. The second second behavioral leadership theory is called as Ohio State Studies. It was done in the Ohio University. Okay, Ohio. It was one of the state of USA. In that, there is a university. Okay, this study in the 1940s tried to identify the leadership behavior. Which are the leadership behavior are making a person a leader. Okay, they tried to find. Initially they tried 80 different types of behavior. Later they condensed it to only two characteristics, two critical characteristics. Okay, and they used to find this behavior, by what is known as leader behavior description questionnaire and supervisor behavior description questionnaire. Okay, so these two types of questionnaire, naturally these questionnaires are given to workers, okay, asking them to tell about their leaders. Okay, uh, based on these findings, they came up with two characteristics which makes them leaders. Okay, one is initiating structure. Okay, initiating structure. The second is consideration. Okay, these two characteristics in a leader, these two characteristics are separate, and these two characteristics can be either high or low, and these two characteristics are mutually not dependent on, they are independent, they are not mutually dependent. Okay, so if suppose a person who shows high initiating structure doesn't mean he is low on consideration, he could be also high on initiating structure also. Similarly, a person showing high consideration doesn't mean he is low on initiating structure. He may also be low on initiating structure, but doesn't mean he is high on initiating structure, he is low on initiating structure. So there can be different levels. Okay, so what is initiating structure and what is consideration? These two behaviors. Initiating structure is a leader. High initiating structure, no, is someone who assign group members tasks. Okay, he is task oriented. He assigns them tasks, expect workers to maintain the standards of performance that he fixes, and he emphasizes and meeting the deadline. Okay, see, they are not looking in terms of autocritic, they are seeing more towards meeting the requirement of a job. So he sets goals and he is making the worker to complete. Okay, a managerial style leader. Okay, in initiating structure. The second is consideration. The consideration leader, this behavior, no, it is a leader high in consideration will help employees with personal problems. He is friendly and approachable, treat employees with respect and as equals. He is appreciate workers. Okay, there is a mutual trust between worker and management. Okay, there is also respect for employees' ideas. So employees are consulted before goals are set. So that is what a leader high in consideration behavior. Okay, so these two characteristics were identified as the most critical characteristics of leader. See, these two characteristics, as I said, no, could be plotted in a graph like based on this, there could be 5 quadrants. Okay, for example, this side we plot consideration, this side we plot initiating structure. For example, there may be a person with low initiating structure and low consideration. Okay, he is not concerned about the work to be done, and he is not also concerned about the people. Very similar to a laissez-faire leader. Okay, laissez-faire leader. So there may be a person like that. This is one quadrant. There may be other type where high on initiating structure, that is high, more concerned about production, but very low on consideration. He is not caring about people. There may be that type of style. Okay, then there may be another group where high on people consideration. They are more concerned about people, but take very less consideration on task to be completed, work to be done. Okay, there may be leaders like that who is caring about people but doesn't take too much care about whether the people does the work in time or not, because he is more caring about people. Sometimes even when the people doesn't do the job in time, he doesn't even get angry. So there may be leaders like that, going soft on people. Those kind of leaders, see, a concern for people is good, but not at the cost of work. Okay, so that is not the best style, but there may be leaders like that. Okay, there is another fourth quadrant is high on consideration and high on initiating structure. In this, leader focuses, it gives people the kind of respect and all things. He take care about his employees. Okay, at the same time, he is also focused more on the goals, that the task to be achieved. So if suppose the task is not achieved, he will take control. Okay. So these are the 4 types of leader. And the Ogaya State studies said that leaders who are high on consideration and high on initiating structure will be the best. Okay. So a behavior which is exhibited where a leader is exhibiting high on initiating structure, at the same time high on consideration. Generally, when the workers are asked by this questionnaire, no, most of the workers mentioned that they were more motivated to work, no, when the managers showed them appreciation of their work and consulted them. That has shown more consideration. So naturally, they were actually more motivated to work. Okay. So this is the Ogaya leadership study. Then there was another theory, behavioral, third theory of behavioral theory, called University of Michigan study. University of Michigan study. Okay. This study also focused what are all the behavior traits. Okay. They came up with again two characteristics. Okay. In fact, the two characteristics that they came is very similar to what the Ogaya State studies came up with. In fact, all the academicians approve both these theories are one and same. மாவு என்னவோ ஒன்று தான், ஒன்று தோசை ஒன்று இட்லி, அவ்வளோதான். இவர் பேரை மட்டும் மாற்றிக்கிட்டார். In the previous theory, the name is initiating structure. Here it will be different. In the previous theory, the name is second characteristic is consideration. Here the name will be different. So what are all the two characteristics that are prescribed in this behavior theory? That is the University of Michigan study. Here the first characteristic is employee oriented leader. Okay, employee oriented leader. Employee oriented leader is a leader who is very similar to the Ogaya State studies. That is more concerned towards people, consideration. It is equal to consideration. Okay. So the employee centered leader is taking care of people. So the second characteristic is production oriented leader, who is more concerned about the work, is equal to the initiating structure of Ogaya State studies. So the University of Michigan study and the Ogaya State studies are one and the same with a different name. Okay. ஒன்று வந்து ஒரே மாவு தான், ஒன்று தோசை ஒன்று இட்லி. ஓகே, அந்த மாதிரி தான். அது இட்லி தோசைன்னு கூட சொல்லக்கூடாது. இது வந்து கல் தோசை, இது ஸ்பெஷல் தோசை மாதிரி, நைஸ் தோசை. ஓகே, கல் தோசை, ஸ்பெஷல் தோசை, அப்படி கொஞ்சம் மாற்றி கொடுத்து ரெண்டு தியரி. ஓகே, போத் தியரிஸ் ஆர் ஒன் அண்ட் சேம். ஓகே, ஹியர் ஆல்சோ followers or leaders in high in consideration were more satisfied in the previous. Here also for the employee oriented leaders are more will be more motivating the people. Okay, and here also very similar, although this is not like a high on employee orientation, like high on production oriented. This is a two different types of thing. Okay. So with this I end my today's lesson. There are still one more behavioral theory is that, which we will see in my next class. Okay, Blake and Moulton managerial grid, a very important theory, a big theory it is. So we will see in my next class. Okay, we don't want the lesson to go too long. Okay, bye.